Hey, 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 how's it going? Just plugged my mic in and I'm gonna double check the audio just now. Just make sure it's all going well. Well, here we go. Let's just really quickly check the audio. And hopefully it'll be going good. I'll just wait for the delay. Do 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 do. Do 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 boo 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 doo boo 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 doo boo doo doo do 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 do. Good grief! How much delay is there? Boop 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 boop. Mr. Sandman, bring me a stream, make it the funnest stream that I've ever seen, and let's cook some food tonight. Is it even going? Oh, because that's not even a ha 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 ha. This is not the live one? What is going on? What the heck is going on? Do 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 do. There. Now I've got a thing. That was totally bizarre. Yeah. Apparently, I was watching some loop of myself. You know, like in all those movies where they loop the security video or whatnot, and so I had like this little loop of this setup without me and no audio, and I kept waiting for my audio to show up, and it never did, and so that was the fake feed, I guess. Somehow I managed to. It was like a two minute loop, and it kept going. Oh, anyhow. Hey, how's it going? I'm Rigaroga, and this is Cooking with Rigaroga. And tonight we are going to cook the last recipe out of my second box from Home Chef. And it's going to be steak moutarde. So steak mustard with roasted sweet potato, sweet pepper, sweet potato wedges, which is going to be so good in a cream sauce. So in the box, we've got grainy mustard, parsley, light cream, sweet potato, garlic cloves, 2 sirloin steaks, and a little bit of butter. And then, boy, there's a little bit of... The cats have managed to deposit themselves via fur in my recipe book. Okay, so let's pull this out. And so for the other side, from my cabinets, I'm going to put this. I'm going to put the folder away so it's out of the war zone. I need olive oil, salt, pepper, cooking spray, baking sheet, and a large nonstick pan. And now it's interesting because it doesn't say that to get a mixing bowl, but it actually says to toss the potato wedges with the garlic and stuff. And so you really want to have a mixing bowl, even though it's not listed. I've preheated the oven for 400 degrees and prepared a baking sheet. We use the mustard and the parsley more than once, and we only use half of the cream, which is kind of interesting. strange. So anyhow, this is the steak moutarde that we're going to cook, and I'm going to go ahead and put the recipe and steps up here on the cabinet door thing. Let's go ahead and pull open our ingredients. So here's the parsley. Here's the cream, but we're only going to use half of it. Here's 2 garlic cloves, some grainy mustard. Look at that. You know, it's funny because I really am not a mustard person, but by gum, I am going to do my darndest to enjoy it. And then these little tiny little sweet potatoes. Those are hardly even sweet potatoes we're talking about. Those are tiny. Okay, and then 2 pats of butter. And then, of course, the 2 steaks. So let's get this out of here. And let's get our ingredients up here. And then, of course, I've got, trusty salt and pepper, pepper from my awesome grinder. And I've got olive oil and some cooking spray for the tray. So let's go ahead and just start thinking about what we're going to do here. The first thing we're going to half the sweet potatoes. And it seems to, I don't know, it says we leave the skin on. Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's see. Where did I do with my, did I put it here? Here it is. Okay. I got my cutting mat. Let's get that going. You can see on the corner of my cutting mat where I accidentally had it too close to the stove. Oh, wow. What are you going to do? Okay, let's get this going. Let's go ahead and just cut these ends off. That seems like the right thing to do to me. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and zoink those off really quickly. Okay, so we got those off. Okay. Now, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to halve them. So let's go ahead and cut these guys in half. Those are a little hard to cut. That was not a good half cut. Okay, oh well. That was a little uneven. Okay, so let's try again. Let's try this one. See if we can get this. No, oh man, it totally went off the edge. Okay, let's try. No. Okay, that felt a little bit close. That's closer. That one was closer. Okay, let's get this going. And there we go. Okay. Okay, so we got those halves, and then we're supposed to cut them into 1/2-inch wedges. So maybe like 3 per half here. So there's that, and then like that. What do you think? So I think, wedges like that. I mean, they're going to shrink a little bit, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get this mixing bowl. And we'll put those in there. So we're going to go ahead and cut these basically into thirds. Oh, that was not so great. Well, maybe we'll end up with more than... Oh yeah, whatever. It's going to be rustic. It's going to be rustic and awesome. So let's go ahead and... Okay, that was a little sad. That was a little sad. We got a little... And I am so hungry, and I'm gonna have so much trouble waiting. There's two points in this where we actually have to wait for quite a bit of time. They kind of overlap with a thing, but there's going to be a point where we're finishing and then we're resting the final dish, but just before plating, and that's going to actually be really hard to wait for. But we will soldier on and do our best. Okay. Okay, let's get the compost out of the way here. Come on. Just get that clean a little bit and wipe that off. Okay. So now we're supposed to mince the garlic. So let's go ahead and do that. You got to be stronger than the plastic bag, apparently. That's a test. That's a test of whether you're a superhero in the kitchen or not. Can you open the plastic bag? Okay, so we're gonna mince this up. Okay, and then let's go ahead and that little end there, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter, but it's kind of ugly. It's got a little ugly little end there. I'm just gonna ponk that off. And put that in the compost. Okay. Yeah, there's more of them. Oh, well. Was the thought that counted. And I think isn't it lemon juice or something like that that gets the garlic off of your fingers? I'm going to smell like garlic all day tomorrow, all the rest of the night, and all day tomorrow. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. You know, if you're going to smell like something, you might as well smell like garlic. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we've minced the garlic, so we want to put that in something. So let's go ahead and get some bowls. These are actually kind of big for this. Okay, there's a good size one for the garlic. Let's go ahead and get the garlic in there. Okay, so we got our garlic minced up. We'll go ahead and put that there. Let's close that. So we're supposed to stem and mince the parsley. You know, I don't know about, I mean, do you take all of the stem away, I wonder? Or do you just do the little fronds? I mean, I guess you would just kind of, you know, grab the little bits. I don't need to get rid of all of the stem, just the lengthy stem parts. And this is, again, we're going to use this, we're going to use the parsley more than once, so we got to be careful to follow the directions on that. And yeah, pinch those off of there. I can smell them. It's not super. It's not super fine. Not super fresh. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a good smell. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Oh, that is good. Wow. Boy, it's hard to waste that, huh? God, if only it were salty, it'd be like sea beans. And that would be so good. Man, I miss sea beans. That's a thing. I don't know if you. It's Salicornia is the name of it. This is not chopping very well. Okay, let's try and get that in there a little bit better. Salicornia is a salt flats, tidal area kind of plant, and it actually desalinates the soil. And so what it does is it gets super green, and then as it collects the salt, it gets red. But if you get it when it's green, it's just a wonderful taste, and it's like really watery, really got a lot of liquid, like a celery kind of, but then it's got this salty taste to it that is just wonderful. It really hits the spot. And there's a co-op in Portland that has or had that when I was in town, so I'd try and grab it there, try to grab as many. They also had some amazing catnip. Oh man, the cats just. Well, I guess at that time it was a cat. It was my little boy who passed away, Mayday. But man, it was the freshest, largest stems and leaves and stuff, and you'd get a bag of it and keep it in the fridge, and just pull out like a leaf or two, and oh man, Mayday loved the crap out of that. Okay, so we've got the parsley all mixed up. Okay, let's go ahead and clean this off a little bit. We'll go to the sink that's behind me, behind my little area. Okay, just get the excess water off of there. I don't do a very good job of storing these so that they stay flat. Should really do better. Okay, so we've pat the steaks dry and then season both sides. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over to the steaks. Let's go ahead and pop these open. Come on, you open up. Okay. So now one of the things that I did do is I let the meat rest outside of the fridge for just a little bit, instead of working with it when it was cold. And that's actually, I can't remember, it's probably like Hell's Kitchen or something that I learned that from. But it allows it to be a little bit more responsive to cooking, is my understanding of how that works. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just get these out of here and leave most of the liquid behind. So we'll clean that up. So we'll leave those out, and I will put this into the sink and just try and get that a little bit cleaned up. And wash our hands and our knife a little bit. Oh, that water's really cold. Okay, so we'll just dry our hands off a little bit. Get this back to its spot. Okay, so we're supposed to season both sides with a little bit of salt and a pinch of pepper. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and use the other hand this time. Okay. I suppose that was not planned out very well on my behalf. Okay, so let's go ahead and I just got a tiny bit of pepper. Go ahead and flip that over. And then I'll use my other fingers. Okay, it's probably more pepper than it actually called for, but we'll go ahead and call that good. And I was just trying not to get the, you know, the meat juices into the salt and the pepper. We're probably going to need more pepper than that. I think there's another spot where we need to do that with some extra. Okay, so we did the season both sides of the steak with salt and a pinch of pepper. Now what we're supposed to do is leave that a little bit, and we're going to on our trusty pan, we're going to go ahead and get that onto medium-high heat. So we're going to go ahead and start that up. Let that get a little bit warm, and then we're going to add a little bit of olive oil and the sweet potato wedges to the hot pan, and we're going to cook until they're golden brown. Basically about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Let's go ahead and get the parsley container out of here. I really feel like there is another spot with pepper. Yeah, there is pepper. So let's go ahead and just put a little bit more into the grinder. I'm just grinding it into the pepper container right here. Instead of into the receptacle. So now we have some pepper ready to go. Oh, and I got the salt on the bottom of it. Goofy. That's ridiculous. Okay. Well, I'll have to clean that up. I tried to stack them, and I stacked the pepper on top of the salt, which was the opposite because there's more salt. And so I got salt all over the bottom of the pepper container, which is okay. That's okay. We'll survive. Come on, you. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hot, hot, hot. Make it hot. Make it hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. Yes, yes, yes. Cook, 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 cook. Cook, cook, cook. Cook, 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 cook. Cook, cook, cook. Cookity, cook, cook, cook. Cook, cook, cook. Cookity, cook, cook, cook. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit. Let's go ahead. It's not super hot, but let's go ahead and put some. It says 2 teaspoons, so not a whole lot. Yeah, it's not hot enough yet. Go ahead and put that. Steaks are looking good. We got so these are the sweet potato wedgies. No, wedgies. He said wedgies. Oh, it's starting to make a little noise. So I just put the one wedge in, and it started to sizzle a little bit. So let's go ahead and put these on. suppose we should put them on their sides instead of the backs to try and get those going. This might actually be a little bit small for this. So sorry, I'm blocking the way. So I'm just putting them in here and arranging them flat. And might as well just put those in there too. Trying to spread the oil around a little bit. Let's go ahead and leave this. Well, let's wipe it. Let's wipe it out a little bit, and then we'll leave this to the side because we're going to need that to toss the wedges in, with the garlic and stuff. And we actually cook these in a couple different times, which is really interesting. Oh, I can already smell them. Hey, Jab, yo, hey. Oh, not a whole lot. It's been a couple minutes. It's just been a couple minutes. How long has it been? Oh, I can't even see it on there. It's not been that long. Yeah. What I should do is I should set up on my schedule, the calendar. I've been doing the role-playing ones on the calendar, but I should actually set up the cooking streams as well. It's because it's every other day. And so it's hard to keep track of if you're not me. And it's hard to keep track of if you are me. Okay, let's go ahead and turn these. I'm just going to turn these so they cook on the other side. So we're getting them a little bit browned. Doing this with my hands is not ideal. Okay, but we'll get it going. Yeah, my idea is to do these at 6 p.m. and that's when I started, but keeping track of it, I really should do the whole schedule worked out. And I should put on my variety streams as well, so that they're on there. I mean, it's listed underneath, if you look in there's a little schedule underneath the video on Twitch, where I've typed out what my current schedule is. So there is that, but being able to sort of look at the Twitch events and then sign up for them for reminders and stuff, that'd be pretty good. Okay, so we got those flipped over. We're just getting those a little bit brown. Oh yeah, sorry. So you missed that at the beginning. So this is what we're making is steak moutarde with roasted sweet pepper. I mean, God, I did that again. Sweet potato wedges. So it's steak encrusted with mustard and parsley, and then a cream sauce, and then the sweet potato wedges. Super, super tasty looking. I am super excited. I have been waiting for this so long today. It's been way too long today. Yeah, I do what I can. I do what I can. I got to do some that aren't meal kits. I gotta maybe skip a week on the meal kits and do like my own recipes or something. I got to really think that through though. May not be able to do that until I get into my new space, but we'll see. We'll try. Okay, so what we're doing is we're getting it just sort of a little bit brown on here. and cook until golden brown for about 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm gonna keep it going for a little bit longer. I'm gonna do a little bit longer. Feels like I should. Really shouldn't be doing this with a fork in my nonstick pan. Should be using my spatula. It's always weird though, you know, they sell the spatulas and they're supposed to be great for this, and then they always freaking melt. I don't understand that. Yeah, I get the kits because I'm really rural, and it's easier to have them mail them to me than it is to actually go to town to get the stuff. And since I signed up for it, I got, you know, there was a special when I first signed up, and like for example, if in the description of the videos when I post them, there's a link to Home Chef, and if people click on them, then I get a credit and they get a credit. So they, you know, discount the first few boxes. So it's just a really good experiment for me to try and do. I mean, I end up ordering stuff via, you know, via Amazon, and it's a lot of prepped food. So it's really awesome. Yeah, all of it. Well, I mean, the only thing that came out of my own cupboards is the olive oil, salt, pepper, the cooking spray, and then, you know, the utensils and stuff, and that's it. Everything else, the mustard, the parsley, the light cream, the sweet potato, garlic cloves, the steaks, and the butter all came in the box. So it really is really well, you know, thought out, and I don't have to get anything else from the store, which for me is great because I literally I don't go to town except every couple months. I'm far enough out that it's just not worth it, and it's a lot of hassle. It's a lot of hassle. My new space, I'll be in town, so I'll be able to get to stores and stuff a lot easier without it being like a day-long trek to do it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call it. We are getting a little bit Cajun blackened style on here. So it depends on what you get in the box. Like you select which meals you want, and some of, you know, you can get less expensive meals, but basically it's $60 for a box, and if you get like $50+, you get the shipping for free. And then so basically you get 2 servings of 3 different meals, which for me is 6 days worth of food because I'm just eating by myself. So it's an entire week of food for $60. That is more than I would normally spend in a week, because I'm, you know, trying to do things cheaply for the most part. Okay, so let me switch really quickly. So we're removing the pan from the burner, toss the wedges with garlic and salt. We're going to go ahead and leave the stove on, but we're going to do the garlic. So we're going to put the garlic in here. And then a bit of salt and a bit of pepper. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's really what made it something I could do is that there was the discount. And it's basically $9 per serving, unless you get the cheaper dish, which is like 7 or 8. Um, so it's kind of it's a little rich for my blood. But as a as a fun experiment, something to do on stream and all that sort of stuff, it's a great idea for me. I think it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, well yeah, if you're gonna if you're on one of the meal systems or something like that, like Huel or God forbid Soylent Green. Okay, so we've tossed that. We're going to transfer them to the cooking sheet. So let me just go ahead and, well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands off a little bit. No reason to get that gunk on the inside of my oven mitt. Okay, so we're gonna pull this out. This has been in the oven, getting ready to go, and so we've got our okay, we're gonna get the rest of this. Don't want to lose the garlic. Don't want to lose that garlic. And it's kind of cool, I mean, they've got a variety of stuff, and they're the recipes, and they're easy to cook. If I could, I would do it all the time, and keep doing it. That's for sure. Okay, so let's get this on I'm gonna get this in a single layer on half of the cookie sheet. Somehow we got all the garlic on this one wedge right there. That's hilarious. Okay, let's try and get this garlic around here. Okay. All right, and so then what we do is we're gonna put it in the hot oven for 10 minutes. Okay, so 10 minutes. We'll keep an eye on that. Just washing my hands off again. Good strategy to do. And when the 10 minutes is over, we'll remove it from the oven, and then we'll finish cooking it in a later step. So what we're gonna wipe the pan clean and roast the steak while we're waiting for the wedges to cook. Okay, and a cat is upstairs hacking up a fur ball. Okay, so return the pan used to sear the potato wedges to medium-high heat. Add some olive oil. Isn't it? Well, it's as close as it's going to get. Why do you say? Is there steam coming out? Or you can see the side of it. It's just because you can see the side of it a little bit. It's not super great equipment. Okay, so we put a little bit of olive oil in here. Get that going. Swirl that around. Okay. And then we're gonna sear these undisturbed for until browned. Undisturbed? So you only sear them on the one side? Yeah, and then you transfer them to a plate, seared side up. Oh, interesting. You only sear them on one side. How weird. That's really interesting. Okay, we're getting a little bit of steam here, so let's go ahead and get this going. So, undisturbed. We're going to let that splatter all over the place. Okay, just wash off some of the meat gunk from that. And let's get just a tiny bit of cleaning while we're waiting. Okay. So it's supposed to be until it's browned. 2 to 3 minutes. I season it right as I'm cooking it usually, but for this one I had it on the plate, and both sides were seasoned with salt and ground pepper on both sides, and then it sat with that seasoning while I did the potato wedges. But normally I would, usually I would spice it on this one side, and then flip it, and then spice the other side and let it cook with the stuff. That's how I would do it. It's so tempting. I wanna mess with it. I wanna mess with it. It is a little bit of golden brown. Let's give it just a tiny bit more time. Tiny bit, tiny bit, tiny bit. Tiny bit more time. And we still got our cream and our butter and our moutarde. And I think I'm done with this. So let's go ahead and put this in the sink. Okay, and then we're supposed to get it on a plate. Seared side up. Okay. So, seared side up. No. Oh, this is the olive oil. That's the olive oil. I don't actually have any wine. I wish I did. Wine with this would be great. Super good. Okay, so what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to spread a little bit of the moutarde on each. And it's really like half a teaspoon, so it's really not a lot. So that's the grainy mustard. So let's get a little tiny bit. And oh man, I spilled it. Okay, let's spread that on there. Get a little bit on here. Do. Whoa, Jab! What happened? Oh no! Oh no, what happened? Nightbot freaked out on you. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's call that enough. Moutarde. Moose turds. Okay, and then half of the parsley. So we're going to try and judge this. Yeah, Nightbot hates everybody. Nightbot hates me even. So let's go ahead and just try and get this spread out a little bit. Okay, so that's what we got. We spread our mustard and then we put that. So we got the mustard spread on there, and then just I put as much of the parsley, about half of it, and reserving the pan. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring that tray back out. And we're going to put our steaks on the other side. Of this tray. Okay. And then we'll roast. Maybe we should. Let's flip the wedges. Doesn't really say to do anything to the wedges, but let's go ahead and let's just flip those over. Okay, so that'll be good. Okay, so that's our wedges and the steaks, and then we're supposed to put them in. We're gonna roast them until the wedges are tender and the steaks reach the minimum internal temperature, about 8 to 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and get that. Oh, that was funny. The steak totally slid off. Not off of the tray, but slid off its mark into the wedges. So let's go ahead and do that. So we got about 8 to 10 minutes left to just sort of hang out while that cooks. And so at about that time. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean up a few things. Yeah, so I think this is done. We actually don't need to toss this anymore. So let's go ahead and we'll just run these in the sink really quick. Get those out of the way. And a little soap on our hands as well. Clean that up as we go. Oh, hopefully my jacket isn't hitting the lavalier mic. It's super cold down here right now, which is funny because I'm wearing shorts, which is really ridiculous. The favorite meal so far out of the kits. Yeah, that's a really good question. Man, yeah. So these are the dishes that I've done so far. So this was the very first dish, the chicken with green peppercorn sauce, which was excellent. It had panko crust on the broccoli. The broccoli was super fresh and super good. And it was a cream sauce with brined peppercorns. That was really good. Even though it was just plain chicken. The Italian sausage and butternut farfalle, that was pretty good. I didn't cook the butternut squash as long as I should have, so it wasn't quite as tender. It probably would have edged out. It's got, cheese on it with a marinara sauce. Probably would have edged out the chicken if I had done it a little bit better. The coffee rubbed pork tenderloins with the roasted root vegetables. That was good. That was really good. I'm not super into coffee, so I probably would have enjoyed it more if I were into coffee, but it made a really great sauce for it. And then the Acapulco fajita beef skillet was super good. That was super filling too. It was tons of food. Um, and then the last one before this was the pot sticker burgers with the spicy Asian slaw. Um, that was good. I mean, I like the sriracha in the slaw. The salad, there was a lot of it, but the dressing was a little bit so-so. I mean, it was a sesame dressing. I'm gonna say probably the Acapulco fajita beef skillet or the very first one, um, that peppercorn chicken was really, really good. Those two. That was a really good meal. If I had this to do again, I'd make my own tortillas with masa. Just a little flatbread to wrap in. For each plate that I had, I would have had like 10 or 12 of those little tacos. Street style tacos would have been really good with the pico de gallo on it. Yeah, that was pretty good. So I think those ones are my favorite of the two. Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty good. Well, of course, I mean the chicken with the cream sauce. It's cream sauce, chicken, your panko with oil, your broccoli, uh, and salt in the brine for the peppercorns. I mean, it was just like ridiculous how good that was. It had everything you want in a really good meal. Yes, it would, and it is a cream sauce with the mustard and parsley. So, and it'll have a little bit of pepper, ground pepper in it. So that'll still have a little bit of that taste in it. But yeah, real peppercorn encrusted steak is just to die for with like a really good red wine on the side. Oh man, that is some good stuff. I'm leaving the stove on because we're making the sauce. I want to peek at it. Ooh, oh yeah, oh yeah. I want to give one of the wedges a little poke just to see. You can't really see what I'm doing. I'm just bending down, and I'm just poking some holes in one of the wedges. And it is pretty tender. It is pretty darn tender. I'm feeling like the steaks want to cook just a little bit longer though. So I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. I know, right? Um, yeah, again, it's basically just because of where I'm at, and I just don't go to town. I'd like to be like if I did like I'd like to be part of a meal kit and a wine club so that I got both of them just sent to me. When I'm in my new space, the one that I'm not really talking about because I don't want to jinx it, I'll be close in and I'll be able to get wine and stuff and ingredients. And there's actually a CSA that's within a half hour bike from where I will end up, and I'm seriously considering that. A bunch of fresh veggies. It's basically every season except for winter, which is kind of too bad because you could definitely do winter, like winter squash and stuff like that. It seems like. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's really, I didn't start drinking until really late. Hey, oh, Soaked in Blood. Sorry, I couldn't really read it on my my little screen. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for the bits. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I could, hey, Jab, I could cancel at any time. And what I'm kind of thinking is that I'm either going to go to the end of April or I'm going to go to the end of May. And I haven't quite decided yet. Um, I could go either way. I could go either way. If I go to the end of April, then it'll be basically a month without. I'll probably just go on hiatus with the cooking streams. If I go to the end of May, then there'll be a hiatus as I'm moving into my new space, and then I'll have to figure out like what I can cook, and I probably won't be able to do kits, and so I'll have to switch. I'll have to switch to my own stuff then. So it's kind of up in the air. I don't know. So maybe I get a box on Wednesday and then I'll get one more box. So I'll definitely have those two. Um, and then if I get additional ones after that, it depends. It depends. I'm kind of leaving it up into the air. No, no. They basically they do repeat some recipes on their list, but each week you have like a selection with like 10 different recipes that you can pick from and pick and choose. So if something came through that was the same thing that you had done before, I mean, I haven't been part of the thing, so I don't know if like next year it's kind of the same stuff. But my sense is that they bring back favorites that people have really said are really great after a while. They bring them back, but that they keep making different recipes over time. So it's not like it's a set menu that they just keep cycling through or anything. It's that they each time they kind of figure out what recipes they want to offer, and then make those available. Yeah, I really wasn't thinking about that when I started up the cooking thing. I was thinking that I would just do the kits and not my own recipes, but um, I have to get in a space where I can get ingredients really easily, and where I'm set up and stuff to do my own cooking. But it looks like I will have that, so it'll probably be less regular. Like I might do once a week instead of three times a week, but we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes down. It also depends on like if I get in that CSA, like how many veggies do I get, and all that kind of stuff. Um, the CSA would be way cheaper overall than the meal kit, but of course it doesn't include the meats and stuff like that. Yeah, so thanks for the reminder. So this is the steak and the wedges as they just came out of the oven, and you can probably hear in my mic that they're going. We're supposed to let them rest for 3 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to put these over here. And I pulled this out, but I don't really actually need that. So let's go ahead and do that. And while the steak is resting, we're going to go ahead and make the sauce. So we're going to return the pan to the heat. And we're going to add half of the cream. I know, it looks so good, doesn't it? It smells excellent. It looks so good. And I can't really tell when half of the cream is in here. That's probably half of the cream right there. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that back. Let's put that cream in the fridge. I'll use that for my tea tomorrow, maybe. Although I usually I usually use whole milk. So, Okay, and so we're going to add half of the cream to the pan and stir occasionally until thickened. Let's finally get the spatula out instead of the fork. And it's actually medium heat, so I accidentally had that on too hot. So I've just turned the stove down. So we're going to let that thicken. That is definitely already thickening up. I'm feeling like I should go ahead and take that off. Let's go ahead and take that off. And off of the heat, we're going to add the butter. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence about doing my own recipes. I don't think of myself as being like an interesting cook, but you know there are definitely some things that I have cooked in the past. Oh, you know, I mean, just sort of thought about it, thought about being a chef in a restaurant, but I don't have the temperament for it. I really don't. I would not do well in sort of the high stress kitchen environment. It would not do me good, and I would not do a good job at it, I don't think. I mean, I say that, but I've been in high stress situations and done pretty well. Um, but I don't think I'd enjoy it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's the craft to it, right? So even though it'd be like crazy intense and all the stress and stuff, you're still making art basically. So there is that satisfaction. But like I actually have been in theater, um, and I like rehearsals way better than performance. Um, the chance to workshop stuff and yeah, yeah. I really honestly don't think that I would do good in a as a chef in a restaurant. Okay, so we stirred the butter in. We're gonna do a pinch of salt and pepper. And the remaining mustard. So it's actually a lot of mustard in this sauce compared to how much is on that steak. I should probably turn that off. So this is what we're getting. We're getting the coarse ground mustard mixed into the cream with a little bit of butter, some salt, and some ground pepper. Okay, and so let's go ahead and move this out of the way. And we're just going to get things ready to start plating. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit. So I'm going to get these guys out of here. We're still going to use the rest of this parsley though. So let's get these guys out of here. And then basically at this point, we're ready to start plating. So let's go ahead and get that plated up. So 2 plates. Oh, it's interesting. So you add more. I was just reading on the recipe. So you actually add more parsley on the top. So you get the cooked parsley. Come on, you. Come on. There you go. Okay. There we go. And then some potato wedges. Okay, let's get these a little bit, maybe like that. Okay. I guess it has it a little bit better organized and not blackened like mine. So a little bit like that. And do a little bit more parsley. It doesn't actually show the parsley being on the plate. So that was probably a mistake, but it doesn't show any on the none on the potato wedges. It feels like there's way more parsley than there should be, but okay. All right. All right, and then the last little bit is going to be that cream sauce. Okay. Okay, so there is still a little bit of cream sauce available for next time or for continuing to dish up. But all of this is ready to disappear off screen. And there is our final dishes. So there is the potato wedges, the sweet potato wedges, and the steak seared on one side with mustard and parsley, and then a mustard buttercream sauce on top. And then this is the picture of what it was supposed to look like. What do you think? Did we do good? It's a little more messy, and I definitely didn't have the potato wedges aren't quite great, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's good. It's great. What am I saying? It's great. So let's put that to the side because I'm going to have to take a picture of that for Instagram, and then also package that up for tomorrow. And let's go ahead and dig in. Okay. Oh. Mm. Mm. Oh, yeah. Oh man, those sweet potato wedges are fantastic. I always forget that I like sweet potato. I don't know what it is. Every season comes through and I'm like, I really like sweet potato, and then I forget. Yeah, this needs wine. You man, with the cream sauce and the steak and the oh, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, that would be something. A little bit more of the parsley on there. Mm. Yeah, it's like a low glycemic index. Is that right? Mm, mm, mm. Ooh. Oh, that's good. So how you been, Jab? Oh, am I not right? I don't know. I just pulled something out of my head. How's it been going for you? Mm, 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 mm. Oh, I thought we were talking about the sweet potatoes, and I pulled out of my head. I seem to recall that they were low glycemic index, so they're like a good sugar or a better sugar anyway. Cool. Yeah, keep it up, man. I've seen a few of your posts on Instagram, so that's cool. Thanks for following me there and hanging out. It's true. It's not pizza. There's no bread and high protein. Yeah, that's a good point too. Cream, but no cheese. There's butter, but it's not like a pound of butter or something. I mean, or even cheese. Yeah, I know. Mm, that sauce on the potato wedges on the sweet potatoes is really good. Mm, yeah, yeah, definitely check them out. I do those ones earlier in the day, so I don't know if they'll work on your schedule. Um, but um, but yeah, I do. Basically, there's three kinds of streams that I do. There's the real life ones like these, which are currently just cooking streams. Um, there's the game streaming, so I get like keys to indie games from some devs and things like that, and So a couple streams a week, I check out regular old video games and play those on Twitch. And then I have three tabletop role-playing game series that I am involved in. The first one is D&D Spelljammer, and that's every Saturday. And that's really early in the morning. It's 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So it's kind of late at night for you, because you're in Europe, right? And the next one is every other Sunday, I do a Warhammer RPG. This last weekend was supposed to be one, but it got postponed to the next weekend. So this Sunday, we're going to actually have all three role-playing games up. And then on Mondays, the newest tabletop role-playing game is D&D in Curse of Strahd, which is gothic horror, kind of vampire hunting. And that's on Mondays at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So I kind of do, I try to do some different stuff. Very, very role-playing. Oh yeah, wow. That's cool then. That'll work. Role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons and well, RuneScape is a role-playing game, but it's like a role-playing video game, like an RPG. Tabletop role-playing is like rolling dice, and you've got your pencils and your paper and stuff like that. We do use a virtual tabletop, so it's not exactly paper, but you know, you roll up your characters. And you do some collaborative storytelling. You know, like you have a plot and you sort of decide what you're going to do on the way through the plot, and then you have one person that's the game master, and they know like what the story plot is behind it, and they sort of make extra decisions about what happens based on your actions and things like that. Yeah, it's funny. It's tabletop role playing, but we actually meet online. So every one of them has players that are spread across North America and Europe. Tons of different time zones. That's kind of why they're so early. Because I'm way over here on the west coast of the U.S. It'd be nice to have a gaming group, like to meet in an actual in person and do tabletop games and stream those, but I just don't have that right now. I'm hoping maybe off chance there might be some people in my new area that are going to be interested in actually doing that. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, I know some. I don't know a lot to sort of have opinions on. Um, I mean, I think there's definitely something. It appears that there's definitely something going on, and exactly what that is, I think, will come out over time as the investigation, as various investigations sort of are revealed, and classified information is maybe shared a little bit more broadly. But like, yeah, but it's crazy how much stuff there is going on, like with the poisonings in the UK. I mean, stuff like that. It's like I don't have any direct knowledge of it, and so I kind of have to just think that, you know, all of the information that I'm getting currently via the news is provisional, and there'll be more information over time that'll sort of reflect on that. And so I kind of feel like I want to understand more about it over time. But in the same vein, you kind of want to do trust but verify. Yeah. It's, the different attitudes in the countries. Like, who was it? Was it Francois Mitterrand or somebody? Um, I mean, had mistresses and whatnot, and it was sort of seen as a sign of virility and power. And then over here in puritanical U.S., it's like exactly the opposite. I don't know. I mean, it's about consent and it's consenting adults doing stuff and uh, I mean, you have to take into consideration that there's sort of power inequity. But as long as you've somehow mitigated that, then what people do with themselves in a consensual way is none of my business. Yeah, I know. I know. This is really good. To be honest, I'm super tempted to eat the rest of it on the other plate, but it's almost almost overwhelming that I want to eat the rest of that. And I think this is the first one where I really wanted to like I still think that the that those other two dishes are better, but this is kind of the first one where I've wanted to eat the entire other plate. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, it's funny. I actually wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know how to describe the difference. It's like I want to keep going because it is good, and I want to keep going. The other ones were more. Maybe it's just that the other ones felt more filling, like they were super tasty, but and then I felt satisfied. Yeah, really. Well, I may eat it. There was one other dish that I ended up having a snack afterwards, like in a couple hours, that I had a little bit of extra just to tide me over. I think that might have been the one that I cooked at 4. So I cooked that one early, and then I ended up at night going, "Oh, I want more food." Mm, 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 mm. Oh, just a little bit more of that sauce. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, actually. I'm not sure which vegetables I. What would you add? Which vegetables would you add? Mm, trying to think. Like, I mean, the roast turnips and carrots would be good with this. Like if you had the potato wedges, and then also those the honey roasted neeps and carrots. I'm not so much for cauliflower. Oh, sprouts. That's something I never think about eating. I never, ever, ever think about eating sprouts. But like if you did a roast Brussels sprouts with like a little bit of onion, um, and well, I mean, I mean, I think about using bacon fat, of course, but that would be good. It's funny. I would never. I basically would not cross the road to eat Brussels sprouts, but if they're cooked well, not super soggy, um, they can be really good. Mm. And I do also just want to reflect that this is the second dish with a bunch of mustard in it, and I don't consider myself to like mustard at all, and yet both of these dishes were good. Both of the dishes that had mustard in them. Cheesy cauliflower. Yeah, yeah. You do a cheese sauce with cauliflower. That'd be pretty good. One thing that you can do with cauliflower that I haven't actually tried, but I've wanted to try, is to mush it up and use it as a pizza dough instead of bread or like a hummus base. I mean, it's basically like a hummus base except it's made out of cauliflower, and it ooh, excuse me, um, and it crusts up a lot, and it makes supposedly it makes a really good crust. And then you could do like a tomato sauce or a like I wonder if a pesto would work well with it. Uh, but that would be really that I would try. That I would be willing to try. That should be on my recipe list as a go ahead. Like I haven't. So that's a recipe that I need to do. Like if I do my own recipes, I need to do the cauliflower base for pizza. And just putting the plate in the sink and cleaning my hands off a little bit. I need to start making a list of like recipes that I would want to do like on my own. Um, and that would be fun. God, I can't remember. I don't think I learned that from the Frugal Gourmet. I think the Frugal Gourmet did a pizza one where he went back sort of in history and kind of traced the history of pizza and found that, probably he thought that the original pizzas were hummus based, but what meal would I make to impress? A fondue. I would do maybe not oil fondue, but like a vegetable broth fondue, and then like a Kirschwasser, so cherry brandy cheese fondue, and then a chocolate fondue for dessert. That's what I would do, without a doubt. If I were going whole hog, and I wanted to do a really cool, fun meal, that would be it. Fondue's cool. I like that. I've never had raclette, which is something that I've wanted to do. Raclette is kind of like a fondue, but it's like a hunk of cheese, and then you basically sort of shave off the melted cheese, and it's like fondue, but you're basically cooking the cheese block instead of into a basin. Yeah, fondue for me is like super comfort food. I have it very rarely these days, but I've got like six fondue kits somewhere with all the little pokers and all the uh, Boy, I bet I even have some sterno cans somewhere that I probably shouldn't have in storage. Now that I think about it, I should find those and make sure I don't have those in storage. Okay, so there's a tiny bit of sauce left, but I'm gonna go with that. Well, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I've got to save the rest of the sauce. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We're just gonna we'll put this on the side for the potatoes. And of course, I just ruined my Instagram picture. Oh man, what an idiot! Wow, I can't believe I did that. Okay, well I'll have to fix that. I'll have to fix that when I take the picture. Yeah, I don't know what it is about fondue. I mean, other than obviously melted cheese is pretty awesome. Um, the oil fondue is not so much. There's a chain of restaurants called the Melting Pot, and there's one in Seattle. There's one in Tacoma. There's one in Portland, and I don't know where else they are, but they're a fondue restaurant, and it's oh man, it's amazing. It's super expensive, but I think that may be the first place that I'd ever had duck, and it was just delicious in a really savory vegetable broth fondue. It was amazing. It was really good. And then, of course, dessert is like little bits of strawberries and cheesecake and stuff that you dip into chocolate. Wow, that's incredibly decadent. Really good stuff. How about you? What would you cook? What would you do? I think if it weren't fondue, if it weren't fondue, I would probably do well either pizza from scratch. So I'd make the dough, um, uh, uh, you know, spread it out, roll it, toss it, cook it, make the pizza. Or I do like a basically a curry, like a mussman curry. So it'd be like a relatively savory, spicy curry with potato and peanut sauce. Really good stuff. Cronus, you can't cook? Oh. Hey, thanks for the follow. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, sorry you can't cook, man. I mean, person. Tomato soup, huh? Oh, thanks for the bits too. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for helping to support the stream. That's really cool. Yeah. Well, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Yeah, it's kind of too bad. I actually have done. It was actually on my personal Instagram. I posted a bunch of pictures of food that I have done. If you go to my personal blog, um, you can see the images of a bunch of the meals that I've done. When I'm not doing these, basically I eat a lot of processed food, and so I like to celebrate. Um, oh yeah, totally, Cronus. It's ridiculously expensive. I told the story in one of my other streams that I had a roommate who used to eat half of my food, and so I was basically spending twice as much on the food that I was eating, and so I realized, why don't I just go and eat in restaurants, right? Hey, Jabs, thanks for the cheers. That's cool. Um, and that's actually I used to cook a lot more until that happened, and then I got out of the habit, and I never really got back into it. Like I keep trying to, but I just haven't been able to. So that's one of the cool things about doing this kind of stream is that it kind of gets me back into actually cooking. And I mean, let's face it is so hard to cook for yourself. I mean, if it's just for yourself, it's like, oh, how depressing is it to make your own food? I shouldn't say that. I mean, it's not depressing to make your own food, but it's just like it's hard to motivate. That's what I mean. That's what I actually mean. It's hard to motivate to make a really good meal for yourself. Hey, Jabs, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks for dropping in. Well, sort of, kind of. I mean, if you look at the package, it says cooking time on it, right? So you're cooking for the time that it cooks, even if it's in the microwave. That still counts. I'll see you next time, Jabs. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, unfortunately, Cronus, you kind of came at the end of the thing. I cooked it, cooked the two dishes, and then ate one, and then this was the dish. Um, it's pretty good. I put the extra sauce on here, so I'm actually gonna have to hide that when I take a Instagram picture. So I'll kind of have to angle it so I don't see that little pile of dollop of extra sauce. But the next cooking stream that I'm going to do is going to be on Thursday. And then the next one after that is Sunday. I get my new box of meals tomorrow. So I'll post to Instagram when those come in. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the idea. So 6 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday is the next time that I'll cook. And then, of course, I've got my other streams listed, the role playing and the video games and stuff like that. And you're welcome to check those out as well. But yeah, come back. That'd be really cool. Hang out and have a chat. Here's the thing. I don't know if you are near Safeways at all or a similar grocery store, but they actually have fresh noodles in the veggie aisle, usually, and it's yakisoba noodles. And they're super easy to cook. You literally just fry them up. But you can add soy sauce and bits of chicken or veggies and stuff like that. So you might be able to manage that. You might be able to manage that. Look for it next time you're in a grocery store and see if it looks like something you could do. I bet it's a step up from cup of noodles, but I bet you could do it. I bet you could do it. So next time you'll have to let me know. Oh, excuse me, as I just burp in your ear. Sorry about that. You'll have to let me know how it worked, or if you decided not to do it. All right. Okay, cool. All right. I'll see you next time, Cronus. Thanks for dropping in, and I'll see you next time.